Hello YarnTubers, welcome back to Wanderlust Crochet with Dana and Benji, who's taking a nap. And today I'm going to read you a little story and I'm going to give you a little crochet pattern. Now years ago, I did write short stories. I did it all growing up in school and in college in my writing classes, and I got A's on my little stories. They're not going to end up on any bestsellers list. I am not a literary genius. It's not my passion, but I do enjoy it occasionally. So I wrote this little story called Stitching Forward. It will take me less than 5 minutes to read it to you, and I'm just hoping that you enjoy this little story. So grab your crochet and listen in. Ellie Jacobs hugged the flag handed to her at her husband's funeral. And then she tucked it away in the same cedar chest where she'd once kept yarn from a beginner's crochet kit, a gift from Adam when he was still alive and endlessly supportive of her whims. He used to say, "One day you'll be the grandma who makes the best blankets in the family. Might as well start practicing." Ellie had laughed and rolled her eyes. Back then it felt like life would always stretch out in front of them like an endless row of stitches waiting to be crocheted. For the first few months after he died, the world dulled to a quiet gray. Friends called, casseroles came and went, and people said all the right things that somehow felt wrong. Ellie moved through it all like someone underwater, her grief too heavy to rise above. And then one rainy afternoon, she opened the cedar chest. Maybe it was the smell of the wood or the faded feel of Adam's handwritten note still tucked beside the yarn, but something stirred. She took the hook and the barely started scarf back into her hands. Her edges were crooked and her tension was a mess. She couldn't remember how to chain properly and had to look it up on YouTube, feeling clumsy and small. But she kept going. One row turned into two, then three. Then she had a scarf that was more abstract than functional, but it was something. More importantly, it was hers. The art of crocheting didn't ease her grief, but it gave it direction. Every stitch was a heartbeat, every project a chapter. She cried into her yarn more times than she could count, but the hook kept moving, and so did she. She joined a local yarn shop's beginner class on a whim. Ellie sat quietly in the back at first, not talking much. But the women welcomed her with soft smiles and pattern advice, and gradually she found herself laughing again. Not much, but enough. One day, a woman named June asked her for help reading a pattern. Ellie was surprised, thinking, me? Helping someone? But she leaned in and explained what a front post double crochet was, using her own project as a guide. It felt good, really good. She was stitching forward. Ellie began posting her finished projects online, just simple things, granny square dishcloths, a winter beanie, and then a scarf with perfectly even edges. She tagged them with things like hashtag beginner crochet and hashtag healing through fiber. To her surprise, people responded, not just with likes, but with stories. Widows, mothers, teenagers, strangers from across the world who messaged to say, "This made me pick up my hook again," or "I thought I was the only one feeling this way." So Ellie made a private Facebook group. At first it had 10 members, then 50, then 500. They called themselves the Crochet Circle, and they met every Thursday night on Zoom, hooks in hand, hearts open. They talked about yarn and life and loss and healing. Members started mailing one another surprise skeins of yarn and handmade stitch markers. Some met up in person. Some even started businesses together. Over the years, Ellie's skills sharpened. Her tension was consistent, her color work elegant. She published a few patterns and sold a few kits, but none of that mattered as much as what she had built. One night, as she sipped chamomile tea and adjusted the lighting for the group call, she realized something. She had become that woman that Adam teased her about, the one with the best blankets in the family. Only now, her family stretched across cities and time zones and even continents, connected by threads and love. At the end of every meeting, she closed with the same phrase, By stitching forward one day at a time, we make beauty out of broken things. And every time someone would nod and keep stitching. I hope you like that little story. I hope that my reading skills were good enough so that it was an enjoyable, relaxing few minutes. And I hope that you like the little pattern called Ellie's Healing Cowl that is down in the description box. Let me know in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like about the story, and let me know via email or in the comments or over in Discord as to, whether or not you have done the cowl, and send me pictures. Okay? Okay, I love you guys. Bye.